Hey YouTube, this is Piyush and welcome to this course in which you will learn about Django by building a fully fledged website. Now in this course, the first thing you will learn is the basics of Django. Then you will learn about CRUD functionalities, authentication, authorization, database, relationships, models, static files, templates and much more. Also at the end of this course, I will give you an assignment to check your knowledge learned from this course. After completing this course, you will be able to create websites using Django. So let's talk about its prerequisites. So the prerequisites of taking this course is you need to have a basic understanding of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Now you don't need to become a master on all of this, but you just need a basic understanding of this. You also need a basic understanding of Python, like what functions are, what are classes, etc. Now the source code of the project which we will create in this course is available in this repository. You will get the link of this repository in the description below. Now let's see the demo of this project. So this is the project which we are going to create in this course. First of all, there is a navbar and then there are posts. And if I click on this read more button, I will land to the post detail page. And currently I am not logged in, that's why I can't comment on this post. I can also search post. So if I type here updated, then you can see that this post has appeared here. Now let's log in on this website. So I will click on this login button and then I can log in by filling this form, or you can also sign up. So if you click on this sign up button, you will land to the sign up page. Currently I have an account, that's why I will log in. I will type the username and password. Then I will log in. Now after that you can see this welcome message. Now if I click on my post, let's say this one, then I can edit or delete this post because it was created by me, and I can also comment on this post. So I will type here, are you excited? And then I'll press the enter key. You can see that my comments shows up here. Now if I go to someone else's post, then I won't see the update and delete button. Now if you click on this admin link, then a drop down link will appear here. If you click on this my account button, then you will land to the admin's account page. Here you will see their posts. And if you click on this create button, then you can create the post. You can also log out by clicking on this log out button. So this was the website which we are going to create in this course. Okay, so first of all let's talk about what is Django. So Django is a Python framework which is used to develop websites. Now in this course you will learn how easy it is to create websites using Django. So basically we have to write our backend in Django. What I mean by backend is, for example, if someone goes to a specific website, what will happen? The backend will fetch all the entities from the database and send the HTML, CSS and JavaScript file to the client. Then the browser will render that HTML, CSS and JavaScript files. Now this is an overview of backend. Basically we can't only fetch data from database, but we can also insert data or update data. We can do a lot in backend. So without wasting our time, first of all, to install Django you have to install Python. Now to download Python, go to this website python.org. You will get the link of this website in the description and click on this downloads button and then download the Python. Basically it will automatically detect your operating system, and if it can't detect your operating system, then you can download this from here. I will close this, and after downloading Python, open the command prompt or terminal if you are on Mac and type here python -- version. If you are seeing this message, then you are good to go. Now type here pip install Django. and press the enter key. After that, your Django will get installed. Now as my Django is already installed, I will close this. And in the VS Code, let's talk about the extensions I will use. So open this extensions, and the first extension I will use is Django. So type here Django, and download this extension. Currently I have disabled this extension, but in the course I will enable it. And apart from Django, I will also install Python. So this is the extension. And another extensions are this auto rename tag. It will automatically rename the HTML tags, and this bracket pair colorizer. It will colorize the brackets. And in the course you will also see that I can zoom in and out in the code by pressing Ctrl and mouse wheel. So to do that, open the settings and type here zoom, and this is the option. You have to check this. Alright, to initialize our project, the first thing we have to do is we have to open our file explorer in Windows or Finder if you are on Mac, and then open the command prompt in this folder. Now if you are on Windows, then click here and then type here cmd and then press the enter key. It will open the command prompt in this folder. Or if you are on Mac, then you can open the terminal and navigate to this folder. Now in this folder I will type here Django -admin, and I will make it bigger, and then I will type here start project, and then the name of our project, which in this case is DJ Blogs, and then press the enter key. You can see that my folder has initialized here. Now I will cd into this folder, and then I will type here code dot to open VS Code in this folder. Now I will close this command prompt, and in the VS Code you can see there is one more folder named DJ Blocks and this manage.py file. Now if you open this DJ Blocks folder, you can see that there are various files. This WSGI stands for Web Server Gateway Interface and will be used to serve our local files. This urls.py file will be used to add our URLs. This settings.py file contains our project settings. You can skip this ASGI and __ init.py file. This manage.py file contains many commands which we will use in this course. So if you are on VS Code, then click on this terminal and then click on this new terminal, or you can also press Ctrl Shift tilde. It will open a new terminal for you, and I will make it a little bit bigger. And in this terminal, type here Python manage.py run server. This command will start our local web server. Now Django provides us a default local server which can be used for development purposes. Now press the enter key and it will start the local server. Now after running this server, one thing you have noticed that there is one more file named db.sqlite3. You can ignore this file now, we will talk about this later. And here you can see a warning message which is you have 18 unapplied migrations. We will discuss this later. For now you can skip this. And then you can see that our local server has started on this address. So copy this and in the Chrome browser paste that. You can see this default Django homepage. If you are seeing this page, then your application is in a good shape. So in our previous video, we have done our initial setup and we have also started this server. Now if you want to close this server, then just press Ctrl and C. It will close this server. And if you want to run it again, you have to type this command. But there is a shortcut in terminal. What you can do is just press the up arrow key and then press the enter key. These arrow keys are very helpful because the up arrow key will display previous commands. Now let's talk about a basic overview of MVT pattern, or how Django serves a web page. So what happens is, in this Django blocks folder, you will see this urls.py file. What Django does is, if someone enters a URL, for example, if I type here /about, then Django will look for this about address in the file, and in the bottom you can see that the about / is not configured in this URLs. That's why if I press the enter key, it will display a 404 page. This page is only displayed if the debug is true in your Django settings file. You can change this to false. For example, in this settings.py file, if you change this debug to false, you won't see the default Django 404 page. Rather, you can customize that page. Now I will close this file, and in this URLs file, now in this file, inside this URL patterns list, I will define one more URL. So I will type here path, and then I will type here about /. We will use this path function to define our URLs. So in the first argument, we will pass the URL, and in the second argument, I will type here the name of the function which will handle this request. So I will type here about page. Now I also have to declare this function. So what I will do is, inside this file, I will define a function named about page, and this is a special type of function. It will accept request as an argument, and it will return an HTTP response about page. And then you can also see that the VS Code has automatically imported this HTTP response here, and then I have returned an HTTP response, and then I have typed here about page. Let's save this, and after saving this, the local server will automatically reload. You can see this reloading message. If I press the enter key, you can see this about page HTTP response. Now in this HTTP response, I can also type here HTML tags. For example, if I type here h1, and then I will close this h1 tag. Now let's save this, and in the browser, if I refresh this, you can see that this about page is now in h1 tag. Now in Django, this urls.py file is only responsible to handle our URLs. So it is a bad practice to add all of our functions inside this file. So what I will do is, I will create a file inside this Django blocks folder named views.py, and then from this URLs file, I will grab this code, and then I will paste it here. Also, I will import HTTP response. So I will grab this, and I will paste it here. Now let's save this, and I will also save this file. Now in the console you will see an error message. Can you guess why? So here is the error. Name about page is not defined. This is because I have added here about page function, but I haven't imported this function from this views. So what I will do is I will type here from dot import views. So I've imported this views file and I will type here views dot about page. Or you can also do something like this. You can delete this and instead of from dot import views you can type from dot views import this function which is about page. But I like to do this in this way. Now if I save this, you can see that the error has gone and my web server has started. Now if I refresh this, you can see that everything is perfect. Alright, so now let's discuss about apps in Django. So I will close this server. So for that I will press Ctrl and C and I will clear the console. Basically, you can think of an app as a feature in Django. For example, in mobile phone there are multiple apps like Facebook, Instagram. Using that app you can do a specific or a variety of tasks. In Django, let's say you want to create Facebook. Now to create Facebook, you can divide your work in multiple parts. In first part, you can handle users. For that, you can create a separate app named users. And to manage comments, you can create separate app named comments. Basically, this project is not Facebook clone. This is a simple blog project. That's why we will only create a single app, and we will write all of our backend code on that app. So to create an app, type here Python manage.py and then you have to type start app and then the name of your app. So I will name this app base and then press the enter key. Now you can see that my base app has been created here. If I click on this app, you can see that there are multiple files. This admin.py file will be used to register our models. This apps.py file contains the main app configurations. This models.py file will be used to create our models. And this tests.py file will be used to create tests. This views.py file will be used to add our views, which we have done here. Now let's start this server. So for that, type here Python manage.py run server. You can see that my server has started here. And in the about page, if I refresh this, you can see that everything is normal. Now, after creating an app, what you should do is open the project folder which is DJ blogs and then open this settings.py file. And after opening this file, scroll down and find this installed underscore apps list. And inside this list, you have to type the name of your app. Here I will type base. And then what I generally used to do is I type here dot apps dot and then I open the apps.py file of this app and then copy this base config and paste it here. Now you have to do this every time when you create an app. Now let's save this and I will also close this apps.py file. I will also close this settings.py file. And for now in the browser, if I go to the / URL, you can see that the 404 page has appeared here. This is because in the urls.py file we haven't configured the / URL. So what we will do is in this base app I will open this views.py file and I will define a view. So for now I will close this terminal and I will type here def index and this view also accepts a request, and it will return an HTTP response. Now I'll press the enter key and it will automatically import this HTTP response. And I think this is the wrong part. I'll delete this and I will type here Django.http, and I will return an HTTP response, and I will type here home page. Now let's save this. Now in this base folder, create one more file named urls.py. Now the name of this urls.py file and this urls.py file which is inside our project folder is same, but this urls.py file is for our app and this is for our project. And in this urls.py file, type here from Django.urls import path, and let's define one more URL patterns, and then I will type here path, and I will leave this blank. By default, if I leave this blank, it will consider the /URL. And I will also import views, so we type here from dot import views, and I will, in the second argument, I will type here views.index. Now let's understand what this is going to do. Basically, if someone goes to the /URL, it will render the index function which is inside this views.py file of this base app. And in this views.py file of this base app, I have specified that in this function, this function accepts request as an argument and it will return an HTTP response. And in that HTTP response, it will print home page in the browser. Now let's save this urls.py file. Now what we have to do is, we have to tell Django that look for the URLs in this base file. So to do that, open the urls.py file of our project, and here I will remove this and type here path, and I will leave this blank, and you have to use an include function, so you can get that from this django.urls. I will type here comma include, and here I will type include base.urls. This base is the name of our app, which is this base folder. Now I have told Django that if someone goes to the /URL, then let this base.urls file handle the URL after that. Now let's save this, and in the urls.py file of our base app, this urls.py file says that if someone goes to the /URL, render the index function which is inside this views file. Now in the browser, if I refresh this, you can see that there is an error here. Cannot import HTTP response from Django.http. Oh, this TP is small. I have to change this here. Now let's save this, and you can see that there are no errors in the console. In the browser, if I refresh this, you can see that our HTTP response is working perfectly. Alright, so in this video we will discuss about templates. Now basically templates are normal HTML files, but we can add dynamic data to it. For example, we can render model data in that templates file. If you don't understand what models is, that's normal. I haven't explained that here, but I will explain that later. Now there are two ways to create templates. The first one is to create a templates folder in this main directory, which is DJ blocks. Or the second way is to create a templates folder inside this base app, and inside that templates folder we have to create one more folder, name the app in which contain that folder, which is base. So inside the templates folder we have to create one more folder named base, and inside that folder we have to generate our HTML files. Now I don't like this method because the first one is more cleaner than the second one, and also the first one will scale better. So in the main directory, which is DJ blocks, I will create one more folder named templates, and inside that folder I will create a file named index.html. Now inside this index.html file I will type here h1, and I will close this h1 tag, and in between that tags I will type here home page. Let's save this file, and in this views.py file, if I want to render this template, then I have to use this render function, which is imported by default. So I will remove this HTTP response, and after this return I will type here render, and the first argument in this function is the request. So I will type here request, and the second argument is the path of this file. So I will type here index.html. Now if you are creating templates from the first way, which is by creating templates folder in the main directory, then you have to configure some settings, but you have to add a single line of code. But if you are creating templates in the second way, which is by creating a templates folder inside this base folder and creating one more folder which is named this app, which is base, and inside that folder creating your templates, then you don't have to apply these settings. So basically we are using the first one, that's why we will apply the settings. So open this folder and click on this settings.py file, and inside this settings scroll down, and inside this templates list you have to search for this dirs list, and inside this dirs I will type here base dir / in the double quotes I will type the name of this folder, which is templates. So just you have to do this inside the settings.py file. Now you might thinking where this base_dir is coming from. So in the top you can see this base_dir is defined here. Basically this base_dir variable contains path of our main directory. Now let's save this, and I will close this file, and I will also save this views.py file, and in the terminal I will type here python manage.py run server. So start your server if you haven't. You can see that my server has started here. In the Chrome you can see that this home page has appeared here. Now we can also pass data in templates. So to do that, the third parameter of this function is the context dictionary. So if I type here a dictionary, and I will type here name colon John. Now let's save this, and in this index.html file I can access this name property by adding here double curly brackets, and in between this I have to type name, which is the key of this dictionary. Now let's save this, and in the browser if you refresh this you can see that the John has appeared here. Now in templates there is something called template inheritance, which means we can inherit this template from its parent. So that is what we are going to do now. In this templates folder, create one more file named base.html. And in this base.html file, I will add HTML boilerplate code. So I will click here and I will change its syntax to HTML. And then in this file, I will type here exclamation mark, and then I will press the tab key. If for some reason this is not appearing for you, then you can manually type this. In the title, I will type here DJ blogs. And let's say in the body tag, I want to add this thing. So whatever inside this index.html file, I want to add that in the body tag. So what I can do is, first of all, I will change its syntax to Django HTML. And in the body tag, I will type here, I will open a pair of curly brackets, and I will type here 2 percentage symbols. And in between that symbols, I will type here block and content. And here I will add one more curly brackets, 2 percentage symbols, and I will type here end block content. Now let's save this file. Basically, we use this double curly brackets to render some value from the views.py file or to render something. And we use this curly brackets and this percentage symbol to add tags. This is called block tags. Let's save this file. And from this index.html file, I will extend this base.html file. So I have to use the extend tag. So you can see a list of tags from the official documentation of Django. So I have to use here extend tag. So I will open and close curly brackets, 2 percentage symbols, and I will type here extends. And in these single quotes, or you can also use double quotes, I have to type the name of this file, which is base.html, and I have to copy this and I will paste it here. And in between this block content and end block content, I will cut this and I'll paste it here. Now whatever will be inside this block content and end block content will get rendered inside this body tag of this base.html file. And I have extended everything inside this index.html file. Now let's save this. And in the browser, if I refresh this, you can see that the title is perfectly working and my home page is also appearing here. Now I can also add title just like this content. So for that I will also open block tags, and in between this I will type here block and title, and I have to close this. So I will copy this, and instead of this block I have to type here end block. Let's save this file, and I will copy this, and in this index.html file I will paste it here, and in between this title I will type here home page. Let's save this file. If I refresh this, you can see that the title has changed to home page. Now I can also include templates. For example, I can break down my files into components and I can include that component here. What I mean to say is I can add here a navbar. So to add here a navbar, I can directly use the nav tag and I can add here a navbar. But that's not what we are going to do now. We are going to create a component named navbar.html. You can name this anything. And in this navbar.html, we are going to create the navbar. So I will create a simple navbar. Let's save this file, and in the base.html file I can include this navbar. For that I have to use the include tag. So open a pair of curly brackets, two percentage symbols, and include, and the name of this file, which is navbar.html. Now let's save this file. And now if I refresh this, you can see that the navbar has appeared here. Now I will create one more file named about.html, and in this about.html file I will copy everything which is inside this index.html file, and I will paste it here. So basically we are also extending the base.html file, and for the title I will type here about page, and I will type here about, and I will remove this. Let's save this file, and in this views.py file one more view, so I will type here define about, and this function will accept request, and it will return render. The first argument is request, second is the name of the file, which is about.html. Let's save this file. Oh, I have misspelled this request. Let's save this file, and in this urls.py file, not this one but the urls.py file of our app, I will define one more URL. So I will type here path, and its location will be about /, and it will render the about function of the views.py file. Let's save this, and if I go to the / about, you can see that the about page gets rendered here, and this navigation is also appearing in this about page. This is because in this about.html file we are also extending this from the base.html file, and in this base.html file we have added here a navbar. So every file extending this base.html file will contain the navbar, and they have to write their code inside this block content. Now let's talk about the third argument of this path function. Basically in this navbar we have hard coded the value of this URL, which is / about. But in future, if I want to change the URL of this about page, for example, if I want to add here about page, if I save this, then this link will get broken. So in the Chrome, if I refresh this, you can see that in this / about URL, this 404 page appears. And if I remove this, this page is working fine. But if I click on this about page, this page is broken. So the solution of this is to add a name attribute in this URL. So in this URL, if I type here name is equals to about, let's save this, and in this navbar, inside this double quotes, I have to use the URL tag. So I will open curly brackets, two percentage symbols, and in between that I will type the name, which is about, and before that I have to type here URL, and I have to use single quotes, or you can also use double quotes, but here I have used double quotes, that's why I will type here single quotes. Let's save this file, and if I remove this, and now if I click on this about, you can see that it is sending me to this about page URL. This is because this name about is attached to this URL, and if in future if I want to if I change this to about, let's save this, and in the home page. Now if I click on this about page, you can see that I am landing to the original URL, which is about /. Now I can also do this same with this in home. So I will copy this and I'll paste it here, and I will type here home. Let's save this, and in the navbar I will copy this and I will paste it here, and instead of this about, I will type here home. Let's save this, and if I refresh this, you can see that everything is working fine. Alright guys, so in our previous videos we have learned some of the basics of Django. Now what we will do is, from this video we will start to create our final project of this course. So in this video I am just going to do some cleanup. For example, I don't want this about.html file, so I will right click here and I will delete this file. And I also don't want this index.html file, so I will click this and I will delete this file. I will close this and I will close this base.html file, and in this urls.py file I will remove this about URL and I will save this, and in this views.py file I will remove this about views and let's save this, and here we will render the index.html template and I will remove this for now. Let's save this file and let's create one more file, which is index.html, and if you are on VS Code then type here extends and press the tab key. It will automatically complete the snippet, and I will type here base.html and I will type here block, and then I will press the tab key and then I will type here content, and here I will use h1 tag and then I will type here home page. Let's save this file and let's open the terminal and let's start our server. So I will type here python manage.py run server. Now my web server has started, so, and you can see an error here which is about not found. So in our base.html file I think we have referenced the about URL, so not in this file but in the navbar we will remove this about URL. Let's save this. Now if I refresh this, you can see that everything is working. Alright, so now let's learn about models. So in this base folder or base app we have a file named models.py. If I open this file, then currently this file is empty, but in the top the Django has imported these models from the django.db. Now what we can do is we can define our models here. Basically you can think of a models as a properties or characteristic of your application. For example, in this project we are going to create a blog application. So what are the characteristics or properties of a specific blog post? So in that blog post we have a title and we have a description of blog and we have an author. The author will be the current logged in user. We will also see how to do that in Django, and the spelling of description is wrong. And we have created and updated field, so we can define this thing in a model. And for this project we will create two models. The first model will be for our post, and the second model will be for our comment. The characteristic for our post model will be this: title, description, author, and created and updated. The characteristic of our comment could be the author and the post, in which post the user has commented, and the comment title. So that could be the characteristic of this comment model, but we'll implement comment model later. For now, let's implement the post model. So to create a model, you have to create a class. So I will type here class, and then I will name this class post, and then we have to inherit this class from models dot model. In the top we have imported these models, and here we can define our properties. So in our post there will be title. This title will be of character field, so we can define that using this models.char field. And the maximum length of our title will be 100 characters, and we can specify their maximum length using this max_length property or parameter. The second thing will be the body of the message or of the post. So we'll type here models dot. Now for the body I want some bigger text, that's why I will type here text field. Basically there are various data fields in Django. You can explore that on the Django documentation. This char field will get converted as an input with type of text in the HTML file, and this text field will get converted into a text area in HTML. And in the post there will be also author. So it goes to models dot, and here we have to define the relationship. Now there are multiple relationships in Django, like one-to-one, many-to-one, and many-to-many. You can think of it this way: a single user can have multiple posts, but a single post can't have multiple authors. That's why there is a many-to-one relationship, which is an author have multiple posts and a single post can't have multiple author. That's why we have to use here many-to-one relationship. And to use many-to-one relationship, we have to type here foreign key, and then we have to type here the model name of our relationship. So for now, just type here user. Basically Django provides us a default user model which we can use here. So we have to import this from django.contrib.auth.models import user, and we can use that user here. And we also have to specify one more parameter, which is on_delete. So if the author get deleted, I want to delete all of this post, so I will type here models.cascade. There is also another value like set_null, which will remain its post, so the post will get remained. But for now I want to delete the post, so that's why I have typed here models.cascade. You can read more about this in the Django documentation. And the another two field I want is created at and updated. For the created, I will use models dot date time field, and then I have to type here auto underscore now underscore add is equals to true. Basically this what this auto now add does is it will take screenshot single time when this model get created. And for the updated, I will type here models dot date time field auto underscore now is equals to true. Now what this auto underscore now does is it will take snapshot every time this model gets saved. So every time this model gets saved, our our new date will get stored in this updated field. Now let's save this file. Alright, so after creating our models, we will run the migration and migrate commands. So in short, we will get rid of these warnings. So for that, first of all, close this server and I will clear the terminal. And after creating models, the first thing we have to do is we have to run the migrations command. So type here python manage.py make migrations. Now before hitting the enter key, if you check this migrations folder, then there is one file and one folder. If I press the enter key, you can see that one more file got created. If you open this file, then there are some informations in this file on how to interpret this models.py file. For now, just close this file. And after running this make migrations command, you have to run your second command, which is python manage.py migrate, to migrate our models. Now if you press the enter key, it will start migrating the models. Now you can see there are multiple migrations got migrated. This is because if you run this command first time, python manage.py migrate, then it will migrate all of the migrations, which is not only in this base app, but there are some more apps which Django automatically create by default for the first time. So if you look in the settings.py file of our project, you can see in this installed apps list, there are many apps which Django create by default, like sessions, auth for authentication and more. For now, just close this app. And after running this, type here python manage.py run server to run our local web server. And if you open the urls.py file of this project, you will see a URL for the admin. So if you type here /admin, then you will see this admin login page, which is asking for our username and password. But wait a minute, we haven't configured our username and password now. So let's configure it. In the VS Code, stop this server and type here python manage.py create super user, all in one word, and press the enter key. It is asking for my username, so I will type here admin, and email address will be admin@email.com. I will type the password admin. If you are typing the password won't show here. This is for some security reasons. And I will type here admin. And it is telling me that the password is too small. So if I wish to continue, I will type the Y. You can see this super user created successfully message. Now let's start the web server again. So press the up arrow key and it will show the previous commands, and press the enter key. Now I will refresh this page again, and for the username I will type here admin, and the password is also admin in my case, and I will click on this login button. You can see this default users and groups table which Django create for us. But where is the our post table which we have created here in this models.py file? So basically after creating this post model, we have to register the model in the admin file. So open this admin.py file and here we have to type admin dot site dot register, and we have to type the name of our models here. So I will type here post, and we also have to import this model. So I will type here from dot models import post. Let's save this file, and if I refresh this, you can see that our post table has appeared here. If I click on this, currently I don't have any post, so let's add some post. So I will click here, and in the title let's type here first post, and in the body I will type here this is my first post, and the author will be admin because we only have created this admin user. Let's save this post, and you can see that it is appearing post object 1 here, but I don't want this. I want the post title to get appeared here. So for that, in the VS Code, inside this models.py file, in this I will type here def underscore underscore str underscore underscore, and it will take self as an argument, and I will type here return self dot title. So we can access our models data from by typing its name after this dot. So for this I want to access the title, so I have typed here self dot title. Let's save this file. Now in the Chrome, if I refresh this, you can see that the title is appearing here instead of post objects. Alright, so we have created our first post. Let's create a couple of them more. So click on this add post, and then in the title I will type here, let's say second post, and for the body I will type here this is my second post, and the author will be admin, and let's save this post, and let's create one more post, and I will name this new post, and for the title I will type here this is my new post. The author will be admin, and let's save this. Now I want to display this post here. So how can I do that programmatically? So first of all, I will open my VS Code, and I will close this models file, admin file, this URLs file, this navbar, and in this views.py file you can see that here I have rendered this index.html file. So let's do some more stuffs on this file. Here what I will do is I will first of all retrieve all the posts from the database, and I will send that post on this render function by the third parameter, and then I will output all the posts in this template. So first of all, to render the post, the first thing I will do is I will import the models. So that's why I will type here from dot models import post, and then here I will type post is equals to post, which is the name of this model, dot objects dot all. To get all the objects of this post, we have to use this function, and basically there are more functions like dot get, dot delete, and more. You can explore that on the documentation, or you will also learn some of them in this course. So this all will give all the objects of this post. So for now we have only three objects, which is this new post,
second post and this first post. So it will return all the objects of the post and it will store that posts on this posts variable. Now let's print this posts variable. So we'll type here print posts. Let's save this file and let's see what this posts variable contain. Now this function won't trigger now. To trigger it, what we have to do is we have to make a get request on this URL, which is /. So I will reload this page and in the VS Code you can see this posts. This is only a query set and this query set returns a list. So what we will do is we will pass this list as a third parameter of this function. So I will type here comma, I will open a dictionary and I will type here posts colon and then I will type the name of this variable, which is posts. Let's save this file and now we have this posts list. So in this index.html file, what we will do is we can use here a for loop. So to use the for loop, open the curly brackets, type here 2% symbols and then type here for, and then I will type here for post in posts. We can get this posts variable from this dictionary, and I will close this for loop by typing here end for, like this. And now here I will use h1 tag and I will use double curly brackets. I will close that and then here I will type post dot title. We have used this double curly brackets to output a variable and the variable is the title property which is inside this post. So if I open the models.py file, you can see that in this post model we have this title property. So we can access that by typing the name, which is post dot and the property name, which is title, or we can also do post dot body author created updated etc. Let's save this file and in the browser let's refresh this. You can see that first post, second post and new post has appeared here. And then I will also output the post body of the post. That's why I will open and close the p tag and double curly brackets and I will type here post dot body. Let's save this file and let's refresh this. You can see that the body is also appearing here. Let's add a line break. So I will type here hr. We'll also output line break here. Let's save this file and if I refresh this, and now you can clearly see these posts. Okay, so now let's create the functionality for individual post pages. So what I will do is I will open the urls.py file of the app and here I will add one more path function, and for the URL I will type here post / and then I will add here a dynamic parameter. So to add a dynamic parameter on the URL, just type here str::pk. Now this pk stands for primary key. You can name this anything you want like id etc, but for now I will type pk, and this str represents its data type, which in this case is string. I can also type int, which is integer, but for now I will add this str data type. So our URL will be the name of our website /post / the ID of the post. So if the ID of the post is 1, then the URL will be /post/1, or if the ID of post is 2, then it will be 2, like this way. Now let's remove this, and the second parameter will be views dot get post. We will create this function in few minutes, and I will name this post underscore detail. Let's save this file. And before configuring the views.py file, I want to show you something, which is in this index.html file. You can see in the bottom there is an error. So for now I will comment this. Let's save this file. Now the error is gone. And in this index.html file, I will add here a h1 tag. And then I will use a pair of curly brackets. And then I will type here post.id. Now Django automatically creates this ID field for us, which is an auto increment field. If I save this, and in the browser, you can see that the ID of first post is 1, second post is 2, and the third post is 3. So Django automatically creates this ID field for us. Now I will remove this. Let's save this file. And in the urls.py file, I will uncomment this. By the way, I am pressing Ctrl and / to comment and uncomment. Let's save this file. And in the views.py file, let's define our get post function. So I will type define get post. It will take two things as an argument. The first thing will be request, and the second thing will be pk. This pk is coming from the URL, which you can see here, pk. Now here I will type post is equals to post dot objects dot get. I am using this get function. It will return a single post, and in this function I will type id is equals to pk. This pk is coming from the URL. So the function is look at all of the posts, and if the id of a post is equals to the pk, which is primary key, which is passed in the URL, then return that post and save that post in this variable. I will type here return render, and the first parameter is request. The second is the template name, which is post underscore detail, which I will create in a few seconds, .html. And then the third parameter is the context dictionary. So I will type here post colon post. So I have added this variable in the context dictionary, and I have passed this context dictionary in this post underscore detail.html file. Now let's save this file, and let's create the post underscore detail.html file. So in the templates, I will create one more file named post underscore detail.html. And in this post underscore detail.html file, and here what I will do is I will open an h1 tag, and notice that we have passed this post in here in the context dictionary, and it will contain only a single post. So I will open curly brackets to output some value, and I will type here post dot title, and I will duplicate this, and I will use p tag, and instead of title I will type here body. And also after the title I will output the post dot author, and I will type here @. Let's save this file and refresh this page, and I will go to the /post/1. If I press the enter key, you can see that the single post, the post title, author of the post, and this is the post body. If I type here post/2, and then you can see the posts here. So basically we are fetching the ID from the URL and we are displaying the post according to that ID. Now I will go back to the home page, and in the home page what I want is, if someone click on the title of a specific post, the user will land to the post detail page of that particular post. So to do that, in this index.html file, after this h1 I will use a tag, and I will close this a tag here, and for the href I will use the Django URL tag. So I will open a pair of curly brackets, 2 times %, and in between that I will type here URL, and then I will type the name of the URL, which is post_detail. And note that this post_detail accepts the ID of the post. So to do that, type here space, and then I will type here post.id, so I can get the ID of the post, and I will pass this as in the URL. Let's save this file, and if I refresh this, you can see that if I click on this first post, I will land to this detailed page of the first post, and if I click on the second post, I will land to the detailed page of the second post, and so on. Alright, so let's create the functionality to delete posts. So first of all, inside this views.py file, or inside this urls.py file, I will define one more URL, which will be path. So the URL will be post/str::pk/delete. So we will grab the ID of the post from the URL, and we will delete the post from the views.py file. And I will type here views.delete post, and then I will name this post_delete. Let's save this file, and let's create this delete post in our views. So in this views.py file, I will define a views named delete post. It will accept request and pk, and if this function got triggered, it will first of all grab the post by its ID. So I will copy this code and I will paste it here, and then it will delete this post. So to delete the post, I will type post.delete, and after deleting the post, I want to redirect the user to the home page. So to redirect the user to the home page, what we have to do is we have to use the redirect function. So I will type return redirect, and if I press the enter key, it will automatically import this redirect. Basically you can get this redirect function from the Django.shortcuts, and in the bottom I will type redirect, and I will type here the URL name, which in this case is home. So in this urls.py file, if you see that the name home refers to this URL, which is /. Let's save this file. Now let's refresh this page, And let's say I want to delete this post. So the ID of this post is 1. So what I will do is I will type here /post /1 /delete. Now if I press the enter key, it has redirected me to the home page and it has deleted this post. You can also open the admin panel and see that this post got deleted. Now in this post detail page, I will add a link to delete this post. So I will add a link and I will type here delete. In the href attribute of this a tag, I will use the Django URL tag. So I will type URL and then I will use the single quotes and then I will type here post underscore delete and it accepts the post ID. So I will type here post.id. Let's save this file and if I refresh this now and if I go to this specific page, let's say this new post page, and if I click on this delete button, you can see that it has redirected me to the home page and it has deleted that post. Or you can also implement this function another way. For example, you can display a separate detailed page to ask confirmation message, and if the user click on the yes button, then you can delete the post. You can also do this like that way. Alright, so we have created the functionality to delete post, to get a specific post, and to get all the posts. Now the rest functionalities are to update post and to create a brand new post. So first of all, let's create the functionality to create posts. So I will create a function. So I will type here def create post and it will take request as an argument and it will return render. The first parameter is request, second is the template name. So let's name the template new underscore post.html. Let's save this file and let's create the URL route for to create a post. So in our urls.py file, I will define one more path. So the URL will be new underscore post and I will render the views dot create post and let's name this create underscore post. So we are done with the URL part. Now let's create the template. So basically we haven't implemented the logic to create the post for now. For now we are only rendering the template. So in the templates folder, let's create new underscore post.html. Now in this new underscore post.html file, I will add an h1 tag and in between this h1 tag I will type here new post. Let's save this file. If I refresh this, now if I go to the /new underscore post / page not found, let's see what's happening here. I will also type here / and here as well. Let's save this file and if I now refresh this, you can see this new post has appeared here. Now in the navbar.html file, Let's create a one more link, and I will type here create. Basically this link will be to create a post. The href will be, I will use the Django URL tag, and in between that I will type here URL in the single quotes. Let's see what the name is. So the name is create underscore post. I will copy this and I will paste it here. Let's save this file and let's close this file which I don't want here. So I don't want this index.html file, this post underscore detail.html file. Also for now I don't want this urls.py file. Now in the new underscore post.html I will create a form. The method of this form will be post. Basically we use post method when we want to send credential information to the server. If we have used get instead of this post, then if user enters something inside the input field, the output of that field will be in the URL of the browser. So we don't want that. We want that for the search functionality, and there are many use cases for get method, but for this we will use post method because we want to send credential informations. Now in this post I will create an input tag, and the type will be of text, and placeholder will be, let's close this here. So the placeholder will be, let's see the models.py file. We have the title and body. Okay, so the placeholder will be post title, and let's create one more input tag, and instead of this input I will, let's create a text area, and for this text area the placeholder will be post description, and by default the column will be 20 and the row will be 5. Let's save this file, and if I refresh this now, you can see this input fields. Now I want to add a break here, so I will add a br tag here. Let's save this, and if I refresh this now, you can see that there is a line break, and I can expand this description as I want. Now let's add a button to submit this form. So I will type here input. Basically these are some HTML kind of stuff, so if you know HTML then you are pretty much familiar with this. The type will be of submit, and the value will be submit. Let's save this file, and while dealing with this text and this description in the backend, we have to give this a name. So I will type here name is equals to, and let's name this title, and let's name this description with lowercase d. Let's save this file, and in the browser if I refresh this, you can see a button has appeared here, and I can type my post title here and my post description here, and if I click on this submit button, you can see this Django forbidden error. This is because of this CSRF token. So while dealing with this method equals to post, we have to add a special tag which is CSRF token. So open the curly brackets, 2 percentage symbols, and type here CSRF underscore token. Let's save this file. Basically this CSRF stands for cross-site request forgery. and you can research more about this in the Google. Now if I reload this page and if I submit something in title and description, and if I click on this submit, you can see that the form gets submitted, but we haven't handled that in our backend. So in this views.py file, let's handle this form. Okay, so now let's handle this in our backend. So what we will do here is we will type if request dot method is equals to post. Basically we have something called request, which you can see that in this function it is an argument, and we can see that if the method of our request is post, then we can handle that here. What we will do here is let's use the try catch block. So we will try to create a post. So to create a post, we will type here post dot objects dot create. We have this create method to create a post, and the title of the post will be the title which we have entered in our form. So how do we get this title? So to get this title, we have to type here request dot post dot get, and then we have to type the name of this field. So the name of this field is title, so I will type here title. Now I'll type here comma, and the second thing will be the body of the post. So if you remember, then in our models.py file there is a body field. So in the body we will type here request dot post dot get, and here we will type description, because if you have remembered, then in our HTML file we have named this description. So after this, let's see what's left in the models.py file. This created and updated field will get generated automatically. The only field which is left is this author field. Let's add this in our new underscore post.html file. So what I want is, if someone creates a new post, then I want to attach this author field to the current logged in user. So basically we haven't talked about authentication now, but bear with me, we will discuss about this later. Just type here author is equals to get the current logged in user, we have to type request dot user. So don't worry about this, we will discuss more about this later. Now if the post successfully get created, then we will redirect the user to the home page, and if there is some error, so we will type here accept, and if there is some error, then we want to render the error in our HTML file. So what I will do is I will define a context dictionary here, and I will attach an error field on this context dictionary. So in this accept, I will type here context of message is equals to, and I will paste the message. So this will be our message, and I will pass this context dictionary in the render function. Let's save this file, and in this file let's check that the error is here or not. So what we will do is we will use the if tag. So we will type here if messages or message. Let's see what we have defined here. okay, message. If message, then we want to display a h1 tag, and we want to display that message, and we want to close this if statement. If there is message in our context dictionary, then display that message in this h1 tag. Let's save this file, and in this file let's refresh this, and let's create the post. So in the post title I will type here my new post, and for the description I will type here this is my new post. If I click on this submit button, you can see that the post has been created and it has redirected me to this home page. If you look on the admin panel, then this post will be appeared on the admin panel as well. Now what I want is, I want the newly created post to be appear first. So to do that, in the models.py file, you have to create a class named meta, and here you have to type ordering is equals to minus created. So this minus created, what will do is, if you type here only created, then it will output the newly created post at last. But if you type here minus, then it will do the reverse thing. Let's save this file, and in the Chrome, if you refresh this, you can see that the my new post is appearing first. Okay, so now we have created the functionality to create the post. So now let's create the functionality to update the post. So what I will do is, I will define one more function named update post, and I will type here request, and it will return render request, and let's render post underscore update.html file. Let's save this file, and let's create this post underscore update.html file. So inside this templates, I will create a new file named post underscore update.html, and in this file I will copy some code from this new underscore post.html file. I will copy this, and in this file I will paste it here, and instead of this new I will type here update, and we have typed this CSRF token, and we have checked it for messages, and instead of this submit I will type here update. Let's save this file, and in the urls.py file of our app, let's configure our URL to update the post. So I will define one more URL pattern. So I will type here path, and then let's name this URL, type here post, and then we will have a ID of specific post. So I will type here str::pk/edit, and it will render the views.update post, and I will name this post underscore update. Let's save this file, and in the browser let's refresh this page, and let's see the ID of this post. So the ID of this post is 4 and the ID of this post is 2. So what we will do is I will type here /post /2 /edit, and by typing this URL I should get this second post. So if I press the enter key, oh, we have to handle this pk argument. So what we will do is here in the views.py file I will type here pk, and then I will type here, I will pass a context dictionary, and I will type here id :pk. Let's save this file, and if I refresh this now, you can see this edit page has appeared here. Now what we will do is I will get the post by its ID, and then I will render its title and description here. So for that, first of all I will get the post. So I will type here post is equals to post dot objects dot get id is equals to pk. Now after this, and then I will create a context dictionary, and I will type here post :post, and then let's pass this context dictionary in our templates. So instead of this id :pk, I will type here context. Let's save this file, and inside this post underscore update.html file I will give this a value, and then I will open a pair of curly brackets, and then I will type here post dot title, and then I will render the post description here between this text area. So I will type here post dot body. Let's save this file, and if I refresh this, you can see that the title and body is appearing here. Now if I want to change something, for example if I want to type here updated, and if I click on this update button, I want to update this post. So let's handle this in our backend. In this views.py file I will check for the method that if request dot method is equals to post, then I will change the title of this post. So I will type here post dot title, and I will make this equals to the title which we will get from our templates. So I will type here request dot method dot, not method but request dot post dot get. And if you have remembered, then in this name attribute we have given this a name of title, and for this text area we have given this a name of description. So we can get that here. I will type here title, and I will duplicate the same code, and instead of title I will type here body, and here I will type description. And after that we will save the post. So to save the post we have to type here post dot save, and then I want to redirect the user to the home page. Let's save this file, and in the browser let's refresh this, and I will type here updated, and then I will click on this update button. You can see that our post has updated. Similarly, we can update the description as well of each post. Alright, so now let's create the functionality to log in the user. So first of all, open the views.py file, and in this file, in the top, we will create the functionality to log in the user. So I will add here a comment, and I will type here auth, and I will create one more comment, and I will type here posts CRUD. Now in this authentication, let's create the method to login the user. So I will type here def login user, and I will type here request, and let's return render request, and let's name this login.html file. Let's save this file, and in the templates folder, let's create this login.html file. Or if your project is bigger, then what you can do is you can create a separate folder for authentication, and then inside that folder you can create this login.html file. But for now I will create this login.html file inside this templates folder. Now in this login.html file, and here I will create an h1 tag, and I will type here login, and then let's create a form. Let's close this form tag, and the method of this form will be post, and action will be this page, so I will leave this blank. Now inside this form I will type here input, and the first input will be for our username, so I will type here placeholder is equals to username. I will duplicate this input tag, and the placeholder will be password, and the type of this input tag will be text, and the type of this input tag will be password. Now I will name this username, and I will name this password, and then let's create a button to handle this form submission. Let's save this file, and let's create the URL route for this login. So inside this base folder, inside this file, I will define one more path which will be for login, and I will render the login user method, and I will name this login. Let's save this file, and in the browser, if I go to the /login, you can see this page not found error. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, I have to type here /. Now let's save this file, and if I refresh this, you can see this login form. Alright, so now let's create the functionality for our login page. So in this views.py file, here I will first of all check that if the user is authenticated or not. See, if the user is already authenticated, why we want to display this login page again? So we will redirect the user to the home page. So to do that, we have to type if request dot user dot is underscore authenticated, then basically it will return a boolean value. If the user is authenticated, then it will return true, else it will return false. So if this is true, then we want to redirect the user to the home page. So we will redirect the user to the home page, and if they are not authenticated, then let's handle the functionality here. Let's handle the form submission. So I will type here if request dot method is equals to post Then what we will do is we will retrieve the username and password from the form. So I will type here username is equals to request dot post dot get, and then I will type here username, and I will remove this equals to. Alright, after retrieving this username, oh, I have misspelled this. I have to type here post. Now we will retrieve the password. So I will type here password is equals to, I will copy this and I will paste it here. And instead of username, I will type here password. Now after retrieving this username and password, we will first of all authenticate the user. So I will type here user is equals to authenticate. So we have to use this authenticate function. Now we have to import this function. So to import this function, in the top I will type here from Django dot contrib dot auth import authenticate, and apart from this authenticate we will also import login and logout. Now in the bottom we will authenticate the user. Now in this authenticate function, the first argument will be request, second argument will be username. So I will type here username will be equals to this username. So I will type here username, and the password will be equals to this password. Now after this, if the user is authenticated or if the username and password is correct, then it will return a user object, else it will return none. So we will check that if user is not none, that means this authenticate function has returned a user object. So if that happens, we will log in the user, and this login function takes request and this user object. So I will type here user, and after logging in we will redirect the user to the home page. And if this user is none, which means the username or password is incorrect, so I will add a else block, and then let's declare a context dictionary here, and I will type here else context is equals to message colon, and the message will be username or password is incorrect. Now that's it for the functionality, and I will pass this context object here. Now let's save this file and let's check for this message in our login.html file. So in this file I will type here, I will use the if else block. Now if you are on VS Code, then type here if and press the tab key. It will automatically complete this. I will type here if messages, then we will output the message. Let's see what the name is. The name is message, so I will type here message, and let's output the h1 tag, and let's output the message. Let's save this file, and in the browser if I go to the /login and if I press the enter key, you can see that it is redirecting me to this home page. This is because I am currently authenticated. So first of all, I have to log out from the admin panel. I will click on this logout button. And now I can access the login page. So I will type here /login. Now for the username, I will type here admin. And for the password, I will first of all type the incorrect password. And if I click on this login button, oh, we have to add this CSRF token. So inside this, I will type here CSRF and then I will press the tab key. Let's save this file and let's refresh this one more time. So for the username, I will type here admin, and for the password, I will first of all type the wrong password. And if I click on this login button, you can see this username or password is incorrect message. And if I type the right password, admin and admin. Now if I click on this login button, you can see that successfully redirecting me to the home page. Now in the home page, I want to output the username. So in our VS Code, I will open the base.html file, or I will open the navbar.html file. And in this navbar, I will type here p, and I will use this pair curly brackets. And to access the username, we have to type here request.user, and then now we can access its property. So I will type here username. Let's save this file, and if I refresh this, you can see our username. Now I want to add the logout button, and I want to add the logout button if the user is authenticated. So to do that, I will type here, first of all open if block, and I will type here if request.user.is_authenticated. So if the user is authenticated, then only I want to display its username. So I will move it in the top and I'll paste it here, and then I will add a link to logout. So I will add a tag and I will type here logout, and in the href attribute, I will use the Django URL tag. And let's define a logout URL. Let's save this file. Okay, so now let's define this logout URL. So in the urls.py file, I will duplicate this and I will name this logout. The URL will be logout and the view will be logout user. Let's save this file and let's define these views. So inside this views.py file, I will type here def logout user. It will accept request, and what it will do is it will log out the user. So you just have to do this, and then we will redirect the user to the home page. And one more thing, this logout function will take request. Let's save this file and let's refresh this file. Now if I click on this logout, you can see that the admin and logout link is not displaying here. Now what I want to do is, in this navbar, if the user is not authenticated, Then I want to display the login URL. So I will type here else, and then I will type here a, and then I will type here login. The href will be login. Let's save this file, and in the your browser, if I refresh this, you can see this login URL. If I log in here, admin, let's log in. You can see that I am successfully redirected to the home page, and this login link is not appearing here. Rather, this admin and this logout link is appearing. Alright, so now let's create the register functionality. So to create the register functionality, I will first of all create a template. So inside these templates, I will create a template named register.html. And in this register, I will first of all add an h1 tag, and I will type here sign up. I will close this h1 tag, and I will open and close the form tag. And the method of this form tag will be post. And first of all, I will add the CSRF token. And from the login.html file, I will copy this code to check the messages, and I will paste it here. And after this end if, what I will do is, let's add it in the top. So I will cut this, and I will paste it in the top. And in the bottom, let's add the input tag. So from this login.html file, I will copy this, and in the register.html file, I will paste it. I will close this explorer, and then what we will do is, we will first of all ask for the username. Then after the username, let's ask for the email. So I will, in the name, I will type here email. Placeholder will be email, and the type will be email. Now what we will do is, we will add the password and the confirmation password input tag. So I will name this password 1, and I will duplicate this, and instead of this password, I will type here confirm password. And the name will be password 2, and this value of this input tag will be sign up. Let's save this file, and in this urls.py file, I will create one more URL, which will be for our register. The URL will be register, name will be register, and the views will be register user. So I will type here register user. Let's add the URL sign up. Let's save this file, and let's create this registered user views. So I will copy this, and in this views, in the top, I will type here def, and then I will paste the registered user, and then I will type here request, and then we will return render the first argument will be request, Second will be the name of the template. So the name of the template is register.html. And let's pass a context dictionary here. And by default the context dictionary will be empty. So first of all, in this register user, let's do the same thing, which is if user is authenticated, then we will redirect the user to the home page. So I will copy this and paste it here. And if the user is not authenticated, then we will check that if request dot method is equals to post, and if request dot method is equals to post, then we will retrieve the username, password, email and password too from the templates. So I will type here username. Let's copy this code and paste it here. And after this username and password, I will duplicate this and this. One will be password 1, the other will be password 2. I will also do the same thing here and here. And we will also get the email. I will change this to email. And then we will check that if password 1 is equals to password 2, and if this is equal, then we will create the user. So I will type here user is equals to user dot objects dot create underscore user, and then the username will be equals to the username which we will get from the post request. The password, or not password, the email will be equals to the email which we will get from the post request. The password will be equals to the password 1, and we will save this user. So I will type here user dot save, and I also have to import this user model. So in the top I will type here from Django dot contrib dot auth dot models import user. So here we have registered the user. Now after saving the user to the database, let's log in the user. So I will type here login, and this function first of all takes request and the user object, and let's redirect them to the home page. So I will copy this and I will paste it here. So that's it for the functionality. Let's save this file, and I also want to display this register link. So in this navbar.html file, I will duplicate this and I will type here sign up. The href will be, I will use the Django URL tag. So I will copy this and I will paste it here, and I will type here register, and I will also remove this, and I will also change this to the Django URL tag, and I will type here login. Let's save this file and let's refresh this. First of all, I will log out and I will click on this sign up, and let's create a new user. So I will type here Piyush. Email will be piyush@email.com. Password will be, I will confirm the password, and let's sign up. And then you can see that the Piyush user has successfully registered and I have been redirected to this home page. Alright, so in this video we will configure our static files and images. So in the VS Code, first of all we have to configure our static files. So to do that, I will first of all close all of these files. And you might thinking that my VS Code is looking change. Basically I have installed a theme which you can get from these extensions. The name of this theme is, this is the theme, One Dark Pro. Now inside this DJ blocks folder, open this settings.py file. This is our project settings, and here I will press the enter key and I will add one more variable. So I will type here static underscore static files underscore dirs, and here we have to type a list. Basically we can have a list of static folders. So currently I will have only one folder, so I will type here base dir / static. So the name of our folder will be static. Let's save this file and I will close this, and I will create a folder named static, and inside this static folder we will have our CSS and images. So in this static folder I will create 3 folders. One will be for our CSS, and I will create one more folder which will be for our JavaScript, and then I will create one more folder which will be for our images. Now in the GitHub repository of this project you will have this type of directory structure. Open this templates folder and open this base.html file, not base.html file, open this index.html file, and in this index.html file let's style this h1 tag. So to do that, in this static folder and inside this CSS folder, let's create a file named styles.css, and in this styles.css file I will type here h1 color blue. Let's save this file. So inside this base.html file let's add this CSS file. So if you are on VS Code, then type here link :css and then press the enter key. Now we can't directly type the name of our CSS file, so what we have to do is we have to use the static tag. So to use the tag we have to open curly brackets, we have to add 2 percentage symbols, and in between that we have to type here static, and then in the single quotes I will type here the name of this file. So first of all we have to go inside this CSS folder, and then we have to go in and then we have to type this file name. Let's save this file, but before this we have to first of all load these static files. So for that we have to use a tag. So I will open curly brackets, 2 percentage symbols, and we have to type here load static. Let's save this file, and in the browser if you refresh this you can see that the color of this h1 tag is blue. Now in this styles.css file, now as this is not the course for our CSS, I will remove this and open the GitHub repository of this project, and I will copy this code. In the VS Code, I will paste it. Let's save this file. And in this repository, if you go to the templates folder, this base.html file, and copy all of the code and paste it inside this base.html file. So I will remove all of this and paste it here, because all of the navbar has been prepared for you. Now what you have to do is just grab this navbar, and then in the navbar.html file, paste that navbar. Let's save this file and let's include this navbar. So I will use the include tag, and then I will type here navbar. Let's save this file, and if you refresh this, template does not exist. Oh, we have to type here navbar.html. Let's save this file, and if you now refresh this, and my account not found. So in the navbar, we haven't created the route for our my account, so I will remove this, and instead of this I will type here /. Let's save this file, and in the browser let's refresh this, and there is one more error, post create not found. So in the VS Code, let's open the urls.py file of our base app, and the URL is new_post. So let's change this to post_create. So I will change this to post_create. Let's save this file, and I hope it will work this time. Let's refresh this. There is one more error, post_create. So in this urls.py file, we have changed the wrong part, so I will undo this. Instead of this create_post, I will type here post_create. Now let's save this file, and let's refresh this. Yes, now everything is working. You can see this navbar, it is pretty decent in styles. Now let's create our JavaScript file, so that if someone clicks here, the JavaScript function will get executed. So inside this static folder, inside this JS, create a file named app.js, and from the source code, copy this code. Basically we are targeting the user button, and we have added this click listener on the button, and we have added the logic for our drop down. If you know JavaScript, then you can read this logic. Let's save this file, and after saving this, in the browser, if you refresh this, now if I click here, you can see that this drop down is appearing. Now in this index.html file, I will first of all close these tabs which I don't want here. Remove all of the code, and from the source code go to the templates folder. Or what you can do is the second option will be download the zip of this GitHub repository, and then you can exchange the templates file. Open this templates folder and open this home.html file and copy this piece of code, and in the index.html file paste that code. Let's save this file and let's create this components /post.html file. So inside this templates folder, create a folder named components. Basically we are doing this because we want this post.html file to be available on two templates. That's why we are creating this separate post.html file. Now inside this components, let's create one more file named posts.html, and inside this file open the templates folder, components folder, and then this posts.html file. Grab this code and paste it here. Basically we are checking for the post in our posts, and we will output the title and body of the post, and we will also add this read more button, and whenever someone clicks on this read more button we will send the user to the post detail page. You can see this URL with the post.id, and if there are no posts we can do that with this empty tag. If there is no post we will show this no posts to show. Let's save this file, and in the browser if you refresh this you can see that it is looking pretty decent now. Now open the templates folder and open this login.html file and copy all of this and paste it in this login.html file. So we have first of all extended this base.html file, and then in this block content we have added this login container, we have added this form, and first of all we have checked for the messages. If there is message then we will output the message and we will display this form. Let's save this file, and now let's see what the next file is. So open this templates folder. We haven't created this my_account.html. We will create this later. Open this new_post.html file and copy this and paste it in this new_post.html file. Let's save this, and I will go back to the templates folder, and inside this post_detail.html file copy all of this code and open the post_detail.html file and paste that here. Now we haven't implemented this comments functionality, that's why I will remove this comments. So this div has opened here and has closed here, so I will remove this. And this is new. Now this means if the current logged in user is equals to the author of the post, then only we will display this delete and this update button. Otherwise we won't display this. Let's save this file, and in the templates folder let's see what's left. Yes, this post_update.html file. Open this, copy this, and paste this in this file. So I will remove all of this, paste it here. Let's save this file and I will close all of the tabs. Now let's see what's the next file is. So the next file is register.html. Open this and then copy this and open the register.html file. Remove all of this and paste it here. Let's save this file, and in the browser, if you refresh this, by the way, if this refresh is not working for you, then consider pressing Ctrl Shift and R. Now if you click on this read more button, you can see that it is opening the post detail page. And let's create a post. So I click on this create button, and the title of the post will be Piyush post. The description will be, and then I will click on this create button. You can see that this is my post. Now if I open someone else's admin post, then I can't see this delete and update button. And if I open my post, then I can see this delete and update button. Now for now the images is not loading. This is because I haven't added the images. So you can get the images from the static folder and this image. So download these images. To download these images, what you can do is you can download the zip of this project and then open these images. Now I have pasted the images on this images folder. You can see these images. Now if I refresh this, you can see that this images is appearing, and if I click on this edit button, it is redirecting me to this edit page. Okay, so now let's add authorization to our posts. Right now, if someone knows the ID of this post, so the ID of this post is 4, they will go to this URL /post/4/edit, and they can edit this post. But I don't want this. Also right now, if someone is not authenticated, so if they have logged out this, and if they want to create a new post, they can go to the /new_post. So let's handle this issue, which means we will add authorization to our routes. So inside this base folder, open this views.py file. What I want is, I don't want the unauthenticated user to create a post. So what we have to do is, we will first of all import a decorator. So I will type here from Django.contrib.auth.decorators import login required. So we will import this decorator, and after that I also want the authenticated user to access this logout URL. So what I have to do is, I have to type here @login_required. So we just have to do this, and after that I will type here login_URL is equals to login. So if the unauthorized user access this route, then they will get redirected to this login URL. And I will copy this and I will add this to this delete post. Similarly, I will add this to this create post and this update post. Let's save this file, and if I refresh this, right now I am not logged in, which means I am not authenticated. If I go to the /new_post, then you can see that I have been redirected to this login page. Similarly, I can't access the logout, update and create post. Now let's add the functionality that if the user is the author of this post, then only I want to delete this post or update this post. So in this delete post, I will type here if request dot user is equals to post dot author, then only I want to delete the post, else I will send the HTTP response, and I will type here 403 forbidden. Let's save this file, and now this post is not created by me. If I first of all log in with Piyush account, so I will type here Piyush, and then I will type a password of Piyush, and the ID of this post is 4. So if I type here /post/4/delete, if I press the enter key, you can see that it is sending me the 403 forbidden HTTP response. Now let's do the same thing with the update post. So I will copy this if block and I will paste it here, and I will indent this. I will type here else, and I will copy this HTTP response and I will paste it here. I will indent this. Let's save this file, and if instead of delete, if I type here edit, page not found, so in the URLs I will type here /. Let's save this file, and in the Chrome browser, if I refresh this, you can see that I can access this. Let's see why. So in the views.py file, I don't want to put this if condition here. So what I will do is I will put this if condition here. So I will copy this if block. I will paste this if block here, and I will remove this indentation. And for now I will type here pass, and I will type here else, and I will copy this and I will paste it here. I will remove this if block from here and this else block from here, and I will also fix this indent. And now we are good to go. So let's save this file, and now let's cut this and let's paste this inside this if block, and I will add the indentation. Now everything is perfect. Let's save this file, and in the browser, if I refresh this, you can see that it is sending me this 403 forbidden response. Alright, so let's create the functionality to view our accounts. So here in the top, after this login or logout, let's create a function, and I'll also protect this function. So I will type here login underscore required, and I will copy this and I will paste it here. Let's create a function named my account. It will accept a request, and first of all we will get the user from the request dot user, and then what we will do is we will get all the posts which belongs to this user. So I will type here user underscore posts is equals to post dot objects dot filter, and inside this filter what I will type here is I will type author is equals to user. So this variable will contain all the posts which will have the author field set to this current user. I will add a context dictionary. I will type here posts colon user posts, and let's return redirect, and let's create a template named my underscore account.html, and the first argument of this function is request, and the third argument is the context. Let's save this file, and let's create this myaccount.html file. So inside these templates create one more file named my underscore account.html, and inside this copy the code from the source code of this project. So open this templates folder, and then open this my underscore account.html file and copy the code from here, and then paste it in this file. Let's save this file, and let's add our URL. So inside this urls.py file create one more URL. So I will type here path. The URL will be my underscore account / I will type here views dot my account, and the name will be my account. Let's save this file, and in the navbar.html file, so if you have remembered, then instead of my account we have added this /. So I will copy this, and instead of this / I will paste this here, and instead of this post underscore create I will type here my underscore account. Let's save this file, and if you refresh this, let's go to the / and then click here, and then this my account. Now you can see there is an error here. Let's check why. Inside this views I will copy this function name, and in this urls.py file I will paste it here. Let's save this file. I will also copy this, and I will paste it here to remove all the typos. Let's save this file, and if I now refresh this file, let's see why this error is remaining here. In this views.py file, returned, oh, we have redirected here. Instead of this redirect, we have to type here render. Let's save this file, and in the browser, let's refresh this, and you can see this post. Now you can see this issue in the because in these templates I want this capitalized username field context. So I will copy this, and inside this views.py file I will type here context, and I will add this capitalized username key. I will set this equal to request dot user dot username, and I want to get the capitalized form of this username, so I will type here dot capitalize. Let's save this file, and in the browser, if I refresh this, you can see that everything is perfect now. Alright, so now let's create the functionality to search. So if someone search here something, for example updated, then I want to show the posts which have this keyword in their title or in their description. So what I will do is, in this VS Code, in this index, let's open the navbar.html file, and in this file you can see that the method of this form is get, and the name is search. So if I type here, let's say new, and if I press the enter key, in this address there is something new added, which is question mark search is equals to new. Now we can get the value of this search, and we will see that if the title of the post contain this word, or if the description of the post contain this word, and if the post contain that word, then we will display that post. So in this views.py file, let's create a function for search. So I will type here def search post, and I will type here request. This function will accept request as an argument or as a parameter, and first of all I will define a variable named post underscore search, and I will initialize this to blank, and then we will check that if request dot method dot get search not method but get. So if you have remembered, then in the post request we have done something like this, request.post.get, but as this is the get request, instead of this post we will type here get, and we will get the search parameter, and after that I will override this variable post underscore search is equals to request dot get search, and I have to make this get uppercase, so I will type here get. So if there is search in the request dot method, then we will store the value of search, which will be in the get request, in this post underscore search variable, and I will type here posts is equals to post dot objects dot filter, and we will check that if the title of the post contains this post underscore search or if the description contains this keyword. So to do that, we will first of all import something which is q. So I will type here from Django .db .models import q, and after this, here in the filter I will type here q, and then I will open and close brackets, and in this bracket we will first of all check that if the title contains this word. So I will type here title underscore underscore I contains is equals to post search. Now we will check that if the title of the post contains this keyword, then it will store that posts in the post variable. And let's change this post to posts because there could be multiple posts. And to add a OR logic, we have to type this pipe symbol. So we'll type here pipe, and then I will type here q body underscore underscore I contains is equals to post search. Now if the title of the post contains this keyword or if the body of the post contains this keyword, then the post will get stored in this posts variable. And let's return this posts variable. Now we have created a function to search the posts. Now let's call this function in this index function. So what I will do here is I will first of all remove this, and I will call the search underscore posts function, and this function accepts request as an argument. So I will type here request, and then we have added this context dictionary. Let's grab this and create a variable named context, and let's paste that here, and let's pass this context variable. Let's save this file in the browser. I will remove this, and I will press the enter key. Let's search something. So I will type here new, and I will press the enter key. You can see that this post has appeared here. If I type here updated, and if I press the enter key, you can see that this updated has appeared here. Alright, so now let's create the model for our comments. So I will open the models.py file, and let's create one more model. So I will type here class comment, and then I will type here models dot model, and then in the comment we have first of all the author. So I will type here author is equals to, now one author can have multiple comments, so there is a many to one relationship, so we have to use the foreign key. So I will type here models dot foreign key, and we have to pass this user model. So I will type here user, and we also have to add one more argument which is on underscore delete. So here I will type models dot cascade. So I will delete all the comments. if the user gets deleted. Now let's add the post field. So we'll type here post models dot foreign key. This is because one post can have multiple comments, but a single comment can't have multiple posts. That's why we have added this many to one relationship between comment and posts. So now here I will have to type post, but notice that this post model is in the bottom, and this comment model has declared above this post model. So we have to wrap this post in between double quotes or single quotes, and I will copy this and let's paste it here. And after the post I will type here comment, and then I will type here models dot char field, and then the max length of the comment will be, let's say, 100 characters. And I also want to add one more field, which is created. So I will copy this and I will paste it here, and then I will copy this two things, and then I will paste it here. Let's save this file, and instead of this title I will type here comment. You can see that we have defined this comment field here. Now let's save this file, and then we have to do two things, which is, first of all, let's close this server. So the first thing we have to do is we have to type here python manage.py make migrations, and inside this migrations folder there is one file which is 0001 underscore initial. Let's press the enter key. You can see that there is one more file get created. Now I will type here python manage.py migrate. Now I'll press the enter key. So now our comments model successfully get created. Let's close this. Let's run our server, and then in the admin.py file we have to register this model. So I will duplicate this line, and from .models import post comma comment, and I will copy this and paste it here. Let's save this file and let's close this file. Now our comment model has successfully created. If I go to the /admin and let's log in here with the super user account, so I will type here admin and then admin, and then you can see this comments model. Let's add some comments. So I will click here on this add button, and the first comment will be from admin inside this my new post, and I will type here hi. Let's save this and add another. The second comment will be from Piyush in this my new post, and then I will type here hey. Let's save this. Okay, so now let's create our comments logic, and we will also set up our templates for the comments. So click on this templates folder, and then go to this post underscore detail.html file, and then copy this div which starts from this comment container, I think up to here, and copy this, and in the VS Code open the post underscore detail.html file. So inside this templates folder, this is the post underscore detail.html file, and I'll close these tabs, and here I will paste it. Let's save this file and let's check this template. So we have first of all counted all the comments. Now how can we get comments from a post? So if you see in the models, then from this views I have a post object. Now in this post object we have comments and we have to go to the up level. So to go to the up level we have used the comments underscore set. Here is the name of the model and we have to type underscore set. And if we want to go from comments to model, we will go on the down level. So to go to the up level we have used this comment underscore set and we have typed here dot all to get all the comments, and we will count all of them and we will show them here. And here is our input form, and we will get all the comments from this post dot comment underscore set dot all, and we will store that in this comment variable, and we will loop through all the comment, and for each comment we will output the author of the comment, output the created. And then first of all let's remove this filter, and now let's save this file, and we'll also output the actual comment. And in the browser I will go to our website, and if I click on this my new post, then you can see these two comments, and you can see here to the full time, but I don't want this. So if I add this filter, which is 5 times since, now if I save this file and let's refresh this, you can see that now it is appearing in a beautiful way, 7 minutes ago and 7 minutes ago. Now let's handle the functionality of this comment. So if someone fill the input button and press the enter key, the method will be post and the name is this comment. So in our backend, let's go to the post detail method, which is this get post, and here I will check for the post request. So I will type here if request dot method is equals to post, then I will get the comment from the post request, and then I will create a new comment. So I will type here comment dot objects dot create. Notice that the C on this comment is capital because it is a model and we have to import this model. So in the top we have imported this user, and we will also import comment. So I will type here comma comment, and in the bottom this is get post route. Let's create a comment. The post will be the post. You can see that we have defined this post variable here, and after that the author of the comment will be the current logged in user. So I will type here request dot user. Now the comment will be comment. So I will type here comment is equals to comment. We will get this comment variable from the request.post, and we have done the wrong thing here. So we have to type get comment. Now in the bottom let's save this file and let's refresh this. Now you can see this error here, which is cannot import name comment from django.contrib.auth.models. Oh, we don't have to import this from here. We have to import this from .models. So I will type here comment. Now let's save this file and in the browser. Let's refresh this page. Now if I want to add comment, so I will type here, and before that you can see that I am currently logged in with this admin profile. So I will type here another comment. Let's press the enter key, and you can see that our comment has appeared here.
Okay, congratulations on completing this course. Now in this course you have learned about Django while creating this project. Now let's talk about the assignment of this course. So you have to create this project all by yourself, and while creating that project you can take help from Google. And the second thing is, in this comment you have to add the edit and delete functionality. For example, if I commented on a certain post, then I can edit or delete my comment only. So if you have carefully watched this course, then you are able to do that. And the second thing is, you can add the tags functionality on a post. For example, a single post could have multiple tags, and a single tag can't have multiple posts. So you can add many to one relationship on posts and tags. Or you can also add many to many relationship on post and tag. Like a single post can have multiple tags, and a single tag can have multiple posts. Another thing is, I highly recommend you get a reference from this Django documentation. For example, if you want to learn how to manage static files, then you can type here static files and press the enter key. You can see that there are multiple posts. If you click on certain post, then you can learn more from that. Or if you want to learn how to add many to many relationship, then you can type here many to many relationship, and you can see that there are multiple posts, and you can learn from that.